Welcome back to the class, everyone. We are currently in our second match of the final week of this 5v5 season, and things are looking kind of blim. So we have, I don't know if that's a word, we have the first win here, so that was really important. However, that being said, we have to win these next two to be able to come out of the season with a positive number, and our current opponent is making that really hard. So before we do go look at what he said on defense, let's look at his overall roster here. So bringing this up, he does have, we're kind of back to that 300 relic level advantage. He doesn't have us beat too badly in mods. In fact, I think there's a lot of give or take. Like, we haven't beaten 25s and 20s, but he has beaten 15 and 6 dots, so it goes a little both ways there, like I said. We have first order and dash on him, which isn't like a huge advantage, but it's, it's something we do have. And he, of course, does have Ray. And where the rubber really hits the road, and I mean, I don't know if this is more so him having Ray, or if it's him having the Ray Datacron, because he has the super ult version of it. That is just, it defined everything that I did in my defense placement. So before, I guess I could just show you guys it on the map. We don't need to load into this. He has pretty much the 3 good Datacrons for the Galactic Legends right now. He has the cooldown increase with debuffs on Lord Vader, or rather decrease. He has the JMK Stunacron, and then he has the Ray Super Ult, where, more allies she has alive, the harder he hits. So I did something that I've really never done before. This is completely out of my comfort zone, and it's also a big risk, and the risk might just bite us in the butt here. What we did is we went ahead and we put 4 Galactic Legends up on the front wall. The reason why I did this is because our opponent typically shifts between 3 and 4 in his defense, and with that being said, he's usually able to get through 3 Galactic Legends pretty easily, so I gave him 4. I put my own our level 9 JMK Datacron. The whole point of that is to try to push him into the top wall. That is the goal here. And then he just beats the top wall, and then hopefully he just gets stuck on ships. My back wall is really unimpressive. It is essentially the leftovers from my GL teams. Like, I've got my Phasma back there. I've got a really bad bow team. The BAM team isn't too bad. But yeah, I've typically never set that bow team because typically Maul is the one leading the team, and he's not doing that today. And then I specifically tried to leave an anti-first order executor here, or at least a less better first order counter executor, and then the other two. Pretty much what we're banking on, and this is a really hard bank, is that we can clear both these top 2 zones, and he can only clear this one. That's really our only hope. And he didn't set the board the way I wanted him to. I thought that he was going to put 3 or 4 of his Galactic Legends here, and then the rest was going to go up top, but instead he split it, which makes things very difficult for us. So he has the Super Ray Datacron, where she gets, she's going to ult for, 75% extra damage for every ally she has. And I spent a lot of time last night planning this match out, and I was originally wanting to try, like, all these new counters against pretty much Lord Vader, Ray, Starkiller, and JMK. Every single one of them was going to be a sketchy counter. I'm like, if one of these goes wrong, we're just screwed. Like, I was going to try to do SOK or Separatists here, which I think would probably work. But if we use Separatists there, then we have to use Troopers Watt here. And if we use Troopers Watt here, then we have to use JML against Lord Vader. And he typically put Ninth Sister. I'm like, that. And this Datacron also that increases their decreases their cooldown, so we can constantly use his AoE days. I'm like, this. It just became this cascading effect that I'm like, okay, we're just going to lose if we really try to fight him at his own game. So we're trying to fight him at our game, and that is playing the half board. What is really unfortunate about this is he put JMK here. So now, my only Galactic Legends JML, we don't have a Datacron, and we have to beat this. I do think it's possible. How fast is the JMK, actually? That will change kind of things. He's faster than my JML. This is going to cause some issues. Actually, I think we might be faster with the lead. But do you have any tenacity? Because it does have Hellsteel. We've learned that Hellsteel is a very big pain with the JML counter because they just keep going back. There's no tenacity there to stop the ability block in the very beginning, assuming we can go first. So we have a shot. It's not a very big one, but enough of my depressive speak. Let's go ahead and not blow our shot here. All right, here come the battles. So starting off, we're going to do General Grievous versus Starkiller. We're just kind of trying to throw a few things to these bottom teams before we go ahead and really commit to the really sketchy battle of JML versus JMK. So the battle goes terribly. We do not get to shake out the tenacity down before Mar gets going, so our B2 just stays entirely stunned here. What is worse is even he gets stunned, that removes the shock, and then he still just does an assist. So, as you guys can see, this is going terribly. We're trying to just, you know, use as many AoEs to get everyone's protection out so that maybe Grievous can knock out a character or two. We did lose Newt towards the very beginning. That was very helpful. And then we almost get a turn meter train going here, just with the 3 of them. We do take GK out, which that is really, really nice. That means as long as we can kill Visas now, they're not going to come back with all the Star Killer bonuses. So B1 ends up eating it here, which again, not super great. But now they don't get the revive. They don't get elite. And from here, this is pretty much it. Like, even, to be honest, even a solo Star Killer is probably going to win this 1v1. We do end up going for the AoE to push turn meter back. That was probably pointless just because, you know, Mara is sitting at an effective, what, 420 speed or something like that. Even with speed down and her having 0 turn meter, we're not lapping her. She is just going to be way too fast. But from here, I mean, the match was pretty much already over. We really needed B2 to break them up a lot before they got going, and he either couldn't or just didn't want to, depending on where we are in the battle. So we went there, got hit off on Star Killer. He brings down the house on top of Grievous. Grievous actually survives, and then Mara kills him. So that team didn't quite work out, but at the same time, the whole match didn't really depend on that one battle. It depends on another battle. Yeah, so we go ahead and take in our bounty hunters versus their Darth Revan now. This is fairly important, I guess. Their Darth Revan was up to about 370, given, you know, Talon being there and whatnot. So we immediately go and open on Basilisk Fallen to be able to get contract. The reason why we didn't use Boss Lead here is because after we had hit Nest enough, the contract would have changed to actually Talon, who's in stealth, and we wouldn't have been able to get contract. Really weird mechanic, but Nest's bonus protection on top of her normal protection does make her not the weakest character. We've run into it before. That being said, you know, Aura Lead is doing just fine here. We make sure to go around the taunt to take out Basilisk Fallen, and now, without the 2 of those characters, there's not a lot we can do. We are not calling the Mass Assist on Darth Malik, because if any one of the characters crit him, then he gets to fear and taunt all over again. So we luckily were able to ignore that pretty well. We just go ahead and beat up on Nest. I guess I'll take the counter versus the fear, because we're just waiting for Mando to eventually get back around to be able to annihilate Malik as well. He ends up doing that very, very well, and now we just have to kind of wait until we can get to Talon, and then just annihilate their Nest as well. But we end up using Zam's Annihilate, which is kind of cool. I mean, I'll take it. Now this is the sketchy match. So we're 2 speed faster. Our JML is 2 speed faster than JMK. We land the ability block on JMK and Padme, so this is really good. We don't land it on Cat. However, because their Cat is CD modded and not speed, she doesn't go before Jedi Knight Revan, and we stun her. And since she's also not modded for health, we kind of get to beat the crap out of her here. So we just keep sending in attacks to build up Jedi Master Luke lead. We do make sure to increase his cooldown so that he doesn't get her out himself. And this team has like 300 health steal. So if Cat takes 1 turn, she's going right back up to 100%. Luckily, we killed her before she got there. So don't say, guys, don't mod your Cats for crit damage. Speed is acceptable. Health is acceptable. Offense is probably acceptable, but yeah, don't do that. And I mean, once Cat's out of there, that's game. There's, even with this, you know, crazy datacron our opponent has that has, you know, the stuns and the what is the actual, oh, it isn't level 9, it's just the stuns and the health steal, as well as their, I think, recovery whenever they get buffs. It just doesn't matter. Take out Padme next so they don't get all the protection up for when we assist. We get out Ahsoka rather quickly after Padme. And now we just want to burn out their mace. We do make sure to daze their JMK and increase his cooldown, just so we don't have to deal with him for a hot minute. It does end up working pretty well. And yeah, now it's just GK. He goes ahead and is nice enough to block our AoE ability block, even though he didn't have foresight. Trying to call on Jolie to get his banners back. Their JMK is going to target our GMY every single time. So he eventually dies, and the most important battle for us is now won. So really, really stinking good here. We bring in our Celeste to be Gas. Their Gas does, I think it's only like a level 1 datacron, and the Gas was modded pretty well. He had an offense and defense set, and he had a lot of protection primaries, but as you can see, just Celeste is just too good. Way too good. We were able to get 5s down immediately, get Rex down immediately after that, get pretty darn close with Nubaka to killing them, and then we specifically attack Ark because Echo has a grenade, and he'll kill himself. So now it's just gas. I should have used the basic there to stun him, but, you know, big difference. Ooh, this is a fun one. So we have Mon Mothma on offense just because we kind of put a harder defense down. And I'm looking at this BAM team, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure we can Mothma this. So we go ahead and we use basic first with Kyle Katarn. That gives Pound more turn meter, and it gives us more of a security blanket for Hoth Rebel Scout to actually give turn meter to people. Everything's going super well. We're able to call in the assist with their... or call in the buddy with Mon Mothma, so now we were able to get past the taunt. And Kyle Katarn gets a fairly big hit off on BAM now. And then BAM just dies. Bo-Katan lands a really nasty daze. But at the same time, we have all the tools to deal with it. We immediately just basic or whatever to get rid of the taunt on IG. We basic here so we can cleanse a few people, and then this attack cleanses all of our rebel fighters. So, we win. Yeah, we got that really pesky daze. Kill Bo-Katan just for the fun of it. Hunt down Django because we can. And from here, the turn meter train is pretty much complete, and it's gonna be a really easy full banner win here. So, really gonna probably end up shifting Mon Mothma more on offense every now and then, just because Kyle Katarn at 400 active speed is very useful, and especially if they're gonna get beat really easily by Iden. So, 65, I'll take it all day. We go ahead and use Qui-Gon Jinn here against the Dash team, just because I know if I want to play around with any. If I want to play around with any teams to beat the Rey and the Lord Vader down bottom, even if I can't beat them, the other teams will have a better shot than Qui-Gon because Qui-Gon is severely reduced here. So this is fun. I have a terrible time with this game. The game of choosing when to use the AoE with Jedi Anakin, because I was like, oh, I won't use the first turn because Qui-Gon Jinn will probably die. Qui-Gon Jinn did not die. So we just kind of wasted that opportunity there. And I'm like, okay, we have offense up now. Mission looks pretty weak. We could probably kill her. They don't have the Omicron, so they can't just revive 16 characters at once. We do end up getting L3 out as well. Mace is tanking things pretty darn well over there. He does get daze. Oh, I guess that was gonna happen no matter what, though. Trying to take Zalbar. Zalbar in here is actually really annoying because they keep going up and down below the health levels a lot. We go ahead and just take the big hit on Zalbar just to, you know, lower his stats to make him a lot more killable. Which he does end up becoming multiple times, in fact. But yeah, multiple times. We do end up taking Dash there, swap a turn over to Jedi Anakin. Jedi Anakin finally gets out there, Zalbar for good, and we get a 60. Almost would have been nice for Qui-Gon Jinn to kill over at the very last minute. So we got through the wall. Now our plan, for a plan to do anything, we have to get through ships. So we go ahead and bring in our Separators versus their Empire. This is like the one safe battle we know that we can do. They have Executor and Negotiator as well, so both of those are going to be the sketchy First Order and Rebel battle. But this battle goes pretty well. The Gauntlet in there in the very beginning is a little stressful because he cleanses at the really right time. We do bring in Spine. We just take our opportunity here to get out Vader as soon as possible because their bomber is loaded up with Buzz Droids still, so he's gonna die pretty easily on his own. And now we want to try to get out the prototype as quickly as possible here. They do bring in the shuttle, which does prolong us, you know, doing anything. They do kill our Vulture Droid, and I'm really just hoping we get to our ult before they get to their ult, because if they get to their ult, this is going to be really, really messy. Like, I think they just one-shot everything. So they keep killing my Vulture Droids. We do get a little stuck there. We get through Gauntlet, though. And again, I'm just like, okay, they cannot get to their ult. They get to their ult, then we just die. Luckily, Spy and Soldier are super cool, and they just destroy the enemy shuttle right before he gets to full turn meter and nukes us. So this battle, I really, 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 really need them to hit our shuttle with Ahsoka. Like, I really, really need that to happen. If they do that, she won't give turn meter to someone else, or shuttle won't get turn meter, or get turn meter, and we will actually be able to do things correctly. And that's exactly what happens. She goes right after shuttle. So now shuttle didn't gain turn meter, and we can remove the taunt when we need to, and that's pretty much game. Because now we can do everything as normal. They do bring in Plo, that's, you know, that's annoying or whatever. But of course, we have Ebonhawk. We use the basic that gives turn meter to the whole team. Now we can throw extra turn we over to our first order characters so that we can get out a big enough hit to just snipe out Jedi Anakin. And that's really what matters. That's the money shot right there. So we might, I mean, there's always a chance this counter also just fails after this, but getting out Anakin is a very big deal, and it makes it very clean upable. So we try to go after Plo there for a second, but yeah, the tank just keeps getting in the way, like turn after turn after turn. I go for the big hit. We do not crit, which is cumbersome, but still able to kind of do things. We do get the Y-Wing out, so this is even better now. So even if this fails, that's one more character we don't have to deal with. Keep trying to go after Plo, figuring that he's probably pretty weak. I didn't check to see if he was relic. I just assume everybody has a gear 11 Plo. He probably doesn't. We do get the Ahsoka there with the basics, so that was really cool. And Nego sure does bring in Rex now, which this is just, one more kind of obstacle for us to work through. And it also has the crit immunity, which is very annoying for First Order. Don't love that at all. Still trying to hit him as hard as we can to get through him. He gets a nice dodge, so didn't appreciate that, but we do end up killing him. So that was really nice. They get their ults. And then, unfortunately, just the thermals on that just put our silencer too low down. Even giving him the protection here back with Jedi Consular, it just doesn't end up being enough. He just explodes. And I mean, at this point, we're looking for a cleanup, but a cleanup for just these two ships, that's pretty easy. Like, we can't manage everything, but we can manage that. So now we go ahead and bring in our burner for the Rebel fleet. We tried this very last match, and it actually failed. It didn't matter in the last match, because our opponent didn't do well on ground, but now we really, really need this to work to have any shot. They go right after Falcon, which is great. They can't do anything. We cleanse everything off of them. We use the big hit. We do not get either assist with the Falcon, and then Y-Wing comes in, and we do get the assist with Falcon. So this is exactly what we needed to happen. We need to slowly kill their characters, take one away from them before they can just reinforce the crap out of everyone. So we were, like I said, we were able to get Xanadu Blood out. Now we have to go right for IG. We land the Shield Disruptor, and this is really kind of a pivotal moment where I know my Cassian. I've tried to do this before in other circumstances. I've tried to bring in Cassian, and he just doesn't have enough damage to actually get that Houndstooth all the way down. At least mine doesn't. Maybe if he was higher geared. So I just kind of stick to my guns here. I'm like, okay, commit to Phoenix, control the field, take them all down. That's what we've always done before, and that's what we're gonna do here. And it's RNGesus willing, that's what's gonna happen. So we bring in Phoenix. Phoenix actually get off a really big hit. We don't get the assist, so that's annoying. What makes it even more annoying is that we almost kill Houndstooth, and then he just lives on by that small sliver there. This one was fun. And now I have this really big issue. I'm like, okay, do I just go for the easy kills like I normally would, or do I actually try to work down that Houndstooth? Because he's going to keep gaining protection back. We end up just choosing to go to kill with IG, and I do believe that was the right move, looking back on this. Without going after him, the Houndstooth was going to take a minute to take down, even with that low of health. So we do just start to hit Houndstooth a little bit there, like I said. We do go ahead and cleanse the breach off. I don't really want to have to deal with that. We do get the assist with Falcon, and he's just not going down, man. We have to go for the other bounty hunters before we go for him. He's at least without buff immunity or without shield disruptor. So things are going okay. We do call in Cassian now, just so we can nuke out their whatchamacallit. We're able to get shield disruptor again, and this shot from shield disruptor actually kills Houndstooth. So at this point, this is game. They're not going to get ult on us. We got ult on them, and now we have, a total of 10 turns to wipe down their team. We do have to go ahead now and finish off we do have to go in there and finish off the last two ships. This is rather easy, using pretty much our dregs fleet of just, complete leftovers in there. And they do fine. Typically, if the enemy fleet has 3 ships or more, it starts to become complicated. But when we already have the natural advantage of, just having a lot more characters than they do, or ships, it's really hard for the enemy team to overcome everything. So just kind of throwing in stuff, seeing if we can get a big hit off with a Falcon, maybe that'll kill him. Go for the, counter thing first. Things are going fine. They get crit immunity. I think they do get unending loyalty out here. Yeah, our AoE did no damage. I guess the offense down and no buffs probably had something to do with that. They got unending loyalty. That was really annoying. I'm trying to at least snap flow out of it so that maybe he can die from our Annihilate's, you know, leftover damage or whatever that is. We do bring in Sarge just to kind of hold down the fort while we wait for those. Things are going really, really well, for the most part at least. And we're getting close to our Annihilate. Both of them don't have unlimited loyalty. And we just go ahead and nuke them for our solid 42. And we do end up just losing really poorly this round. And I mean, again, big sigh. Props to our opponent. He was able to do things that were really difficult. At most, he had 3 Galactic Legends, since he was able to take out 4 of ours. Even with, so I didn't have the right level 9 Datacron. It's the really bad one it's like a 2nd GL unique. And Lord Vader, he had to have off-meted at least one of these. I mean, that's not impossible either. Like, he could have used Janet Revan, Janet Luke here. Maybe use some secondary JML team, SLKR, and then C. If I had to guess, that's probably what it was. But at the same time, like, those counters aren't exactly easy, especially with Lord Vader. If the AI is playing it right, constantly having his days back up and running. But he was able to do it, and that he was even able to beat our ships. So this kind of does stink. Even if he had not gotten through on ground, he would have gotten better banners on ships than us. And even if he had not gotten through ships, he would have gotten through all 3 ground territories. So he really just won on all accords. We did throw some stuff at Ray just for fun. Obviously, it didn't do much. Oh, I guess I missed it in the video. They did not have we used Dash to clean up the 2 leftover characters there. That wasn't very eventful, though. But yeah, kind of sucks. I made a plan. I executed the plan well. Did my best. That's fine. But at the same time, this is the first ever GAC season we're going to come out with at a negative record, like for like the last 4 years or however long GAC has been in the game. So that's what CG wanted. That was their intention, was for people to come out of this with a pretty even win-loss record. And it is what it is. So we'll try our best next time and hit them with everything we got. But yeah, just not a lot we can do when the advantage, not only in relics and zetas and gear and galactic legends, whatever, but also datacrons, it really doesn't help. And I don't want to spend time on this, but I can't help feel like the little margin that I was winning by in these mismatches before is just gonna be even wider now, or even smaller now, because of datacrons that I won't be able to live up, because I don't have, you know, this guy had 300 more relic levels than we did, and he was able to use more. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'll try my best next time. We'll see where we go. But remember to like and subscribe. And as always, stay awesome.